What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another tantalizing episode of Off the Schneid. We're pulling the late shift again tonight. We're pretty much always late shift now. Should be fun. Should be different time slot. I kind of like it actually, if I'm being honest. There's a couple, it's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. I don't mind it. I'm kind of happy to be mind you, I think Who Hames and Candyman are streaming right now, and BBG just wrapped up. But it's nice to be at a different time slot than most people, to be honest. But that's all right. So yeah, we're combine. Combine is here. First things first. If you got your beverages, clean. We got a big boy tonight. We're gonna be sipping some beers, doing some drafts. Nothing crazy, just takes. We'll talk about the combine, obviously, and if there's any news, we'll bring that up if we want to talk about it. Let's pull up the underdog. Let's take a look at the pick'ems quickly, but popping in to smack the like. That's what I commented. So, but I got you. Appreciate that, Jeff T popping in. Good evening, OTS. What's up, new collector? How you doing, brother? Everyone who breathes is streaming right now. I know, man. It's I mean, in fairness to some of the, I'm not going to call myself an OG, but I kind of am compared to a lot of the other guys. I mean, smaller channel than a lot of them. Somehow I've been doing this for like 6 years, but yeah, I guess I'm like borderline one of the OGs as far as streaming is concerned. Well, channel age, let's call it. I've only been streaming for like 3 years, but I've been making videos for 6 or so. But either way, yeah, it's a little saturated, but that's kind of why I like to do things a little differently. Try to do things a little differently, anyways. But appreciate that. Putt Daddy's in the house, the OG of the chat, man. Putt Daddy is the OG of the OTS chat group, channel, whatever you want to call it. Putt Daddy's the elder statesman. So what's up, brother? Appreciate all the support you've given me over the years. But let's get into this. Talk about the combine. So obviously the tight ends were today. We all know that it was nothing but records being set. At the tight end, we got a new vert, Eli Stowers, and then the 40 with Kenyon Sadiq, obviously the first tight end to ever run in the 4.3s. Pretty impressive stuff. We got Mr. Mufasa in the house. What's up, man? Your channel older than Kendra Miller's fantasy relevance. Impressive. That is true. Not every streamer can say that. So there you go. Yeah, it was good. And another guy sneaky, and he's gonna flip somebody in my rankings is Sam Roush. Sam Roush had a pretty solid day as far as the combine's concerned for him, for his size, for what he can do as far as blocking. But he showed some athleticism that I didn't necessarily think was there. So Sam Roush is going to move up one spot to 3 in my rankings. But we'll do that another time. We're not going to talk about rankings right today. We're going to have to, today's basically the last bit of information that's going to change the rankings around a little bit. And we'll show that. We'll talk about that on another episode. And then we'll talk, actually, let's dig into this next week. So today, obviously we're drafting no guest. Next week, it's nothing but guests. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have a guest for each day, each show. Good guests. I'm actually really excited about a couple of them. One that's never been on the show. One that I'm not going to say who they are until we kind of drop it, especially the one on Monday. I'm excited for Monday. He's been kind of semi-retired, if there's a little hint for you. He's been kind of semi-retired for about, I don't know, a year or so. So I'm excited to have him on. And then Wednesday, never been on the channel before. Friday, another fan favorite. So next week's nothing but guests. I'm excited about the guest next week. But dang, little spill over here. Let's get into this combine stuff. So what I wanted to talk about, and it's been a thing for the last few years as far as combines are concerned, and the 40 and everything like that is concerned, right? The fastest 40s in every position group have been this year, which I think is pretty close last year as well. And I expect that to continue with quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs tomorrow. And everybody that's running is running fast. So it's that kind of old adage, like if you're not going to run fast, don't run, right? If it's going to hurt your fantasy, if it's going to hurt your draft stock, don't run, right? So the only guy tomorrow that's really kind of a big one is Mekhi Lemon. Actually, I don't think Tyson is either. So that's a bit of I'm not going to call it a red flag, but basically it says he's definitely not 4.4 speed, which I think we knew. Now, the interesting thing is like, is he 4.5 speed? Is he actually like a 4.6 guy? That's where it becomes a problem, because if Mekhi Lemon went out there and ran a 4.6, that would absolutely hurt his draft stock. If he goes out there and runs a 4.5, it might hurt it a little bit with a couple teams saying, man, I was hoping he could get in the 4.4s, whatever, and he's a 4.55 or something like that. That might, lead us in another direction, sort of thing. So just don't run. It is what it is. Basically, what I'm getting at is I'm looking at these times for tomorrow, and I'm starting to think, like, anyone that's running, I kind of want to look at the under for some of these guys. A lot of these guys, like Brendan Thompson, has moved up to like 200ths of a second. Essentially, he was 4.3 to start, down to 4.28. Jeremiah Love, what did we get him at? We got him on opening day, I think, at like 4.45 or something like that. We hit the faster, and it's really moved, so that's good. But that's going to be tough to beat that time as far as betting on it. Antonio Williams, we took the slower on the 4.46. He moved down one, so that feels good. But I feel like if he's running, he might run faster than that. Ty Simpson, Carson Beck, I'm not going to look at that. Oh, they've gotten rid of a bunch. Unless that's just the popular guys, and there's more down. Oh, yeah, here we go. So Claiborne. Malik Benson is a guy that I'm inclined to bet the faster on the 4.37. Maybe we'll put together a little bet. We'll see if we can get enough different guys and make a little bet here. But we'll see if we can get there, because there's not a lot of guys I haven't bet on that I like, really. Claiborne, 4.38. I don't know. On tape, I guess I could see him being faster than that, but I'm not going to bet on it. I'll say that. Concepcion has moved up. I'm inclined to bet the faster. Even there, we got him slower than that. Let me pull up the numbers on my phone so I'm not flipping around screens here. Let me pull up the numbers that we got these guys on opening day at a bet. So we did Casey Concepcion faster than 4.45. He's moved up to 4.41. I think he can even beat that. We got a faster on Jeremiah Love at 4.42. So he's moved up a bunch. And then the slower on Antonio Williams, like we said there, 4.46. So interesting. Let's go Benson faster. Concepcion, I think he can still get in. I think he can get in the 4.3s. So let's just put that there for now. But I don't necessarily want to bet on the same guy twice over here. The one that's interesting to me is Omar Cooper. 4.47 isn't necessarily what I saw. But again, is he going to do it if he's not going to run fast? Let's continue down this path of saying if they're running, they're going to run fast, and let's go faster for Omar Cooper. Jam Miller's an interesting one. I'm thinking it's got to be slower on that. He's a big kid. He's a 4.5 guy, I feel like. So let's just put that up there. I mean, it's contrary to what I'm talking about right now, and then I think Emmett Johnson. There's no way Emmett Johnson and Jam Miller are the same speed. No way. Let's go faster on Emmett Johnson. Carnell, that's fine. I think that's a fine number. I'm not going to touch that. Jeremy Bernard's an interesting one. I think he probably is a 4.5 guy, low 4.5s. If he gets in the 4.4s, that's wonderful. But I don't know if that's something I want to bet on. Denzel Boston, I think that's aggressive too. I might go under on that, but I'm not going to touch it. Malachi Fields, I wanted to go slower. Jacoby Lane, I'm questionable. Kind of thinking potentially slower. Katron, Le'Veon Moss, I don't know. I don't know. Surratt, yeah, those are all interesting ones. Like Katron, that seems like his speed on tape. Le'Veon Moss, that seems like the speed. Surratt, same thing. I'm just not taking these quarterbacks realistically as far as betting on them. And then Carson Beck again. Let's see what we got. What do we got? We got a little 4-piece of guys I haven't bet on. Let's do it. Let's do it. We get a little boost on it. Let's do a little boost. Tennis, PGA. We got a 40% booster. That's cool. Let's do, what's the payout here? 20 bucks maybe? Let's do 16 bucks. Let's do 20. Make it even. Almost 200 bucks. That'd be fun. Malik Benson, faster than 437. Omar Cooper Jr., faster than 447. Jam Miller, slower than 448. And Emmett Johnson, faster than 448. Let's lock it in. Boom. That's fun. That's fun. Bet made. Let's pop in a draft. Big board, 20-second clock. Jump in if you want to jump in. Let's do this. Waiting for 11. Yikes. We might be waiting for a minute here. I like my women like my 40 times fast and gets me excited. Yeah, that's right. You like your women fast? Like they could run fast, or you're fast with the women? Couple obviously risers from today. The tight end class. Ken Sadiq is going to run, or sorry, is going to move up. I think I checked my, right after they set the records, actually before the 40. So Stowers hit the record for the vert before the 40. I tweeted it out too. And I took a look at my exposure. It was like, you guys are going to want to take a look at your exposure to these tight ends. So I did. I think I'm 11% Sadiq, which I'd like to be a little higher for sure. Obviously it's unfortunate, but I'll try to pick off some more shares when it makes sense. But 24% Stowers, that feels fun. That's nice. But I've been hearing he's up in the Njoku likely range over here, Theo Johnson. So that kind of sucks. I wish I had more, but 24% feels pretty good if I'm being honest. Maybe just didn't draft enough. And if I was 24% with like 100 drafts in, I would maybe feel a little better about that, but it is what it is. So we'll see. And then where do I think these guys need to rise to? Let's start with Sadiq, obviously. Like all of this depends on landing spot still, right? It still all depends on landing spot, right? So, and it's hard to say, like, honestly, people are saying, I saw on Twitter, the Titans should be thinking about him at 4, all kinds of just nonsense a little bit. Like let's slow down, guys. He was like like maybe late teens in the 20s draft pick sort of thing. Now he's going top 5. I get it. It's impressive. He's a freak. Don't get me wrong. I like him in the first round. All that kind of stuff, but like, let's just pump the brakes a little bit on this top 5 talk, but we'll see where he goes. But do I like, let's just go kind of up from there. Sadiq over Strange. Yeah. Give me Sadiq in a vacuum. Sadiq over Goddard. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm never have been, never will be a Goddard bull. Sadiq over Ferguson starts to get interesting, but I think like natural abilities. Yeah. Freak abilities. Give me some Sadiq over Ferguson. Sadiq over Kittle. That's an interesting one with the injury, obviously. So it really comes down to how much we think Kittle's going to miss versus Sadiq. That would be a little aggressive to me. So let's look at like, I think what, 20 picks of ADP he's got movement on essentially. I think the Kittle range is where it starts to get a little interesting. Like Kincaid needs to continue to fall, and I think he will. Gadsden is where I would be. I want Gadsden over Sadiq, just as far as like, yeah, I like the Chargers. I like Herbert, all that kind of stuff. I know the quarterback he's attached to. I know the offense he's attached to. Give me Gadsden over Sadiq. Kind of no question if we're talking about just a vacuum conversation. So I think Kincaid, again, it's because he's attached to Josh Allen. I get it, but he needs to continue to fall. There's a huge gap between, not a huge gap, but there's a good sized gap between Kincaid and Kittle here that I think will close up. And then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. It's kind of right around there in the one early 130s, late 120s. So I guess kind of call it like 16, like a round and a half, let's say. A round and a half of room is kind of what we have on Sadiq, I would think. Stores went at 181 in my last draft. Yeah, that's what I've kind of been hearing. Who Aims in the House was just live. Appreciate you popping in. Sadiq went 130. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's kind of where I think he should go, roughly. I think that's where he should go. That makes sense. I'm okay with that. Kincaid opting to not get the surgery again is weird. Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Wasn't it? It was his knee too, wasn't it? Like, it's definitely something he probably should have got surgery on, I think. I just got Sadiq at 130.43. Felt good. That does feel good. If you get him right at ADP would feel great. I'm only 11% Sadiq, but that feels pretty good. I'm ahead of the field essentially right now, and I'll keep picking away at him as he rises. Depends on where he starts going, but 130 feels fine. That's right where he kind of should go, I think. Yeah, late 120s, early 130s, I think makes a lot of sense for Sadiq. So we'll see where that kind of takes us. Now let's look at Stowers. 24% Stowers. That feels really good. Be nice to be higher, but it is what it is. So where does he rise? Obviously, above all of these guys, even Terrence Ferguson for sure, just because it's a little bit crowded at the tight end position for the Rams, right? Definitely flips Schultz for me. That's interesting. Like, give me. The weird thing is like, give me Stowers over Johnson, but I'm a little more questionable about Likely. Give me Stowers over Njoku probably. Age difference there is kind of a big factor for me. And like, where's Njoku going? And his best days might be behind him. Realistically, he only had this one season that was like really a pop-off type of a season when he was attached to Joe Flacco. Other than that, it's been good and fine, but it's not like he doesn't have the ceiling that Eli Stowers has, right? So give me him over Njoku, but Likely is the one where it's a bit more of a question mark for me. So yeah, I mean, I get that, the 170. I get that. Like, again, in a vacuum, give me Stowers over Hunter Henry. We know exactly what Hunter Henry is. So that's interesting. I guess what I'm saying is I'll kind of like keep drafting them both up the board until it doesn't make sense to where I think they should go anymore. Pick number 3, that feels good because I'm going to get one of these two, which I have not been able to get. We'll take Puka. That's awesome. Love it. I still haven't gotten Gibbs. I haven't gotten Gibbs yet. I have a few shares now of Puka, probably like 3, maybe 4 shares of Puka. Feels good. 0 Gibbs. Again, not because I don't like him, just hasn't happened. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We got a Puka share. That's fun. We got Mr. Mufasa at the 5. I feel like DC 352 is somebody, maybe. And that might be it. Let me know if you're in the chat and you're drafting, or lurk. Do whatever you want. You do you, man. It's been 2 years of him opting to not get the surgery. That's really weird. That's really weird. The same knee that gave him trouble all year. Yeah. Like when it's like a knee thing, I think that's something you just get cleaned up and call it a day in the off season, right? Like maintenance surgery, essentially. That's interesting that he would opt to not. I don't think I agree with that, but what are you going to do? It's just going to lead to more question marks and more trouble, most likely. I don't think I've drafted Kincaid once. Let's take a quick peek if I've drafted Kincaid at all. I do not think I have. And if I have, I'm positive it would be with Josh Allen. One time I drafted Kincaid. So it must have been with Josh Allen, and it was probably at a discount. Almost certainly at a discount. So I've been saying it all draft cycle. I do not think that we have to stack these quarterbacks, these rushing quarterbacks. I do not think we have to do it at all. And Josh Allen is absolutely at the top of that list of we do not need to stack. And we do not love his pass catchers, right? We know exactly what Kincaid is and can be, and it's been relatively mediocre since he's come into the league, especially because of all this injury trouble, which we're talking about in the chat here. We know exactly what Khalil Shakir is, right? Which is fine. It's just not exceptional as far as fantasy value. It's definitely not something that you need. He's not particularly winning you any weeks, right? Coleman, sure. If you want to tack him on at the end of drafts, cool, because he's basically free. That's fine. If you want to put him with James Cook, okay, cool. That's fun. They don't really go on the same side of the board realistically. Sometimes you can get a falling Allen, or if you pull up Cook, I guess, to like 8 or something like that, you can maybe pull it off. It's pretty rare to get Cook and Allen, but it is possible. But other than that, yeah, it's like we just don't need to do it. So yeah, in a vacuum, like Sadiq, Stowers, I might be taking those guys over. And you're not, the other thing is like, you're not taking them over Kincaid. You're getting them down the draft board. So, this makes sense. We'll take either Bowers or Henry, either one. I'd like to get a little more Bowers. So let's go Bowers, even though that's a little... We're going to have to go running back, which is fine. We can definitely do that. Looks like, oh, geez. We're taking Bowers. Let's just get that done. Looks like Chase Brown got chased up. He did. That's fine. I mean, Henry would be great if he fell to me at 27, but that's pretty unlikely. We got Bats 440. Appreciate you popping in. What's going on, man? Cheers to everybody if you got your beverages of choice. Cheers to a little Friday night, sipping beers, ripping drafts. It's a good time. It's a good time. I hope there's a running back left for me. There may not be. If there's not, I guess I just take Nico. I'd rather not go Breece Hall, though I think he's still fine in that offense. I think he's still fine with the Jets. Yeah, hit that like. Fantasy Dogs in the house. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Tet gets pulled up. Nice. Bucky's there. That's who I want. Tops my rankings. I did not particularly want Breece Hall, but I really like Bucky here. That's a fun start. Bucky, Puka, Bowers, wide receiver 1, tight end 1. Probably not the running back 1, but you never know. You never know. McBride, I don't think he's started to fall yet, but like we were saying on Wednesday, and it seems like since then, not that I made it happen or I called it and I think other people, obviously it was right there. Everybody knew it was a possibility. Seems like Malik Willis, very strong possibility he ends up in Arizona. I think that's where he goes. Like, I just think that is where he goes. Like I said on Wednesday, it just makes the most sense financially for the team. They're going to be able to outbid anybody for the most part, like within reason. And I think it just makes the most sense. So that's where I think he's going. So McBride has to get not necessarily flipped by Bowers, but he's got to fall behind Bowers. I'm not picking McBride until he does. I won't pick McBride until he falls basically into the top of the third, at least into the top of the third. And then if not, like mid third. That's kind of where he has to fall in order for me to click Trey McBride, especially when you got Bowers down here. And even if I'm on this side, you can pull Bowers up here, no problem. And I'm fine with that this year, whereas last year, obviously, I was not. But oh my, what happens to my Brissett shares? I don't know. Like, what happens to Jacoby Brissett? I mean, to be honest, he probably just stays on as backup. Like, that's what I do if I'm the Cards. Like, I treat it like it's a genuine competition because it does kind of have to be. Not really. Actually, like, you have to, if you pay Malik, you gotta play him. But you have that nice, like, I think Brissett stays on as the backup. I think that has to happen. And then that really hurts anyone with Brissett shares. I don't think I have any Jacoby Brissett shares. Let's look at the exposures. None. Yeah. So I wasn't drafting Brissett because this was always on the table. Like, this was always a possibility that he just gets kind of outright replaced. So yeah, it is what it is. It's just an age thing. They have to find their quarterback, and it's not Brissett. He put up numbers because they were throwing all the time, because they were losing all the time. That's not necessarily a good look for Brissett either. Like, he's not able to win football games. He's not able to keep his team in the game. They're getting their asses kicked every game. It's just a volume thing, right? Wow, 42 for Josh Allen. Holy, what happened? Did we have a... No, nothing too crazy. Wow. That is nice for that guy. Why wouldn't the James Cook drafter take him? I would have over Devontae personally, but hey, interesting. Yeah, like, it's not a good look. It's kind of a problem. It's kind of a problem. I might just have to go, though I don't really love it. I might just have to go, yeah, Javonte. I think I have to go Javonte in this instance. There's no one else really. I can get one of these wide receivers down here after the turn. I kind of have to go Javonte Williams to catch up a little bit. I don't mind getting a few more shares. It's not that I don't like him. I just haven't drafted him much. I don't love that his price is going up. But once, like, Ibuka, Flowers, Devontae, like, all these guys kind of go, McLaurin, Loveland isn't there, that kind of thing, then I kind of have to, because give me Javonte over the, like, Henderson, Harvey, Scattaboo for sure, Judkins. Give me Javonte over them, especially when I'm trying to catch up a little bit. So I think that makes sense there. And then I have my pick of the litter kind of as far as wide receivers are concerned. Yeah. It's not necessarily burden for me. That's not who I'm going to take. Let's go. I have a lot of Waddle, so I might be getting aggressive with that, but I'm just going to keep clicking them if I'm being honest. Let's do Waddle. Let's do Waddle. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Javonte, I assume you're talking about. I don't have a lot of Javonte, but I just think it makes sense there. Like I kind of laid out. It makes sense there. I don't like to fall behind at running back. And to be honest, like one running back through 4 rounds feels like you're falling behind. If you can't get one in rounds 4 or 5, then you're in tough as far as running backs are going to be concerned. You can always do some different things, throw some volume at it, whatever. But if you can get Javonte there, I think it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Especially with the Pickens fiasco that we've been talking about. I've been trying to hammer it home every single episode, basically. He's just way too expensive, and this guy takes him at 21. That's aggressive. This is going to be a storyline all summer. You really think, and we knew it was going to be the franchise tag. And a lot of people are like, oh, phew, franchise tag. We know he's going to be on the Cowboys now. This isn't Madden, guys. Like, did we really think that George Pickens was going to go quietly into the night on a fucking franchise tag? Not going to happen. So it's going to be contentious throughout the entire summer unless they get a deal done quickly, which I highly doubt. because there's a difference of, I don't know. Allegedly, it's only 5 million, but I feel like it's more than that. I saw a number of 33 is kind of what he's after, but I think it's got to be more than that. It kind of has to be more than that. So, yeah, I think it's probably more like 35. We'll see. But even if it is 33, that's basically a $6 million difference. So that's a big difference. It's going to be tough to negotiate that down. And do we even really want to be drafting George Pickens on a franchise tag? I don't particularly, especially when he's a second round pick. That's just not happening. But again, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. We talk about it on almost every single episode. We talk about this George Pickens situation. I'm 0% George Pickens, and it's going to continue. I probably won't draft him at all on the big board. He's just going to be too expensive. I love the Bears and Ben Johnson as much as the next guy, but it could be hard for three passers of the same team to pay off around 4-5 ADP. I absolutely agree with that. I'm just trying to get shots on all of them. I like Loveland the most for sure, because it's also less like bust risk essentially. Like he's definitely not going to be a 0, obviously, right? So, the conversation of he might not be able to pay off ADP can come into play, but I think he's the most likely to be able to return his ADP than the rest of the other two, Burden and Odunze. And then DJ Moore, I'm really not drafting a crazy amount at all. So that's kind of that. Do I think Hurts makes sense here? Yeah, he kind of does. I haven't taken him very much at all, though there is some concern with Jalen Hurts. Maybe I should have just went Parker Washington and Trevor Lawrence is probably what I should have done. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so DJ Moore, I'm not particularly drafting, and he might not even be on this team. But I do want some Burden, and I definitely want some Odunze. I think Odunze can bounce back and be what he was at the start of the season last year before the injury. And I just don't want to take the risk of 0 Burden. I'm not drafting a lot. I'm going to be behind the field in Burden, so call it 4, 5, 6% roughly, something like that on Burden. And then on Odunze, probably like 9 to 11, something like that. I like Odunze a lot. I still do. And I'm like 20% Loveland. I'm very high on Loveland. I'm fine with paying that price tag on Loveland. So I do agree with this. Someone's at least one, if not two, are not going to pay off their ADP. But I mean, if you can tell me who they are, I'm all ears. I kind of want to get more Bayshal Tootin. And you know what? I'm just going to do it. Fuck it. We're having fun. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take more Bayshal Tootin here. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him. I know that. I get it. I understand why you don't. But I know that Gladstone likes Bayshal Tootin a lot. I know that. And I think Liam Cohn likes him enough. Etienne's gone. I think we're overlooking Bayshal a little bit. I understand the trepidation, but the dude has 4.3 speed. He's going to get on the field regardless. He could definitely be a league winner type if he gets the opportunity. I understand that could be a big if, but I'm willing to take the risk on a guy like Bayshal Tootin. I am. So we'll see. I don't have enough right now either. That's kind of part of it. So I want to get more, and I'm willing to take the chance. Bayou Bangle in here. What's up, man? Appreciate you popping in. Go sub over to Bayou Bangle over there. Does some good stuff. That's a lot. The $6 million difference, I think, is what we're talking about. Yeah, huge difference right now. And it might be more. I feel like it might be more. Loveland is the Williams match. I agree with that. That's the number one. That's what this guy did right here. Oh, and he double stacked it with Burden too. Ladd with Herbert. This is a fun team. It's a fun team. I don't hate that. I'm on board with all of these offenses, essentially. I like Lamb, especially at 8. He's fine. I have Herbert's my most drafted quarterback. A lot of Loveland, tons of Loveland, or a lot of Williams, tons of Loveland. I get the Burden click there. McConkey's risky, but again, another guy I'm willing to take the risk on. But yeah, I think Loveland is the Williams match. I'm with these rushing quarterbacks, it makes sense. I'm trying to take the tight end and that. Again, I do think it's necessary to stack whatsoever, but if I am, it makes the most sense to take their tight end. This guy pulls up Goff very high, and then takes Gadsden probably from the Herbert. He's not happy with that. That's interesting. I like that because that might push the quarterback down to me. Now the draft push the quarterback down my way. If Kraft is there, I have to just take him here with the AP discounts. This guy will probably take him. Who doesn't? Well, I'll take him. I haven't taken Kraft a lot, so it feels good to get that ADP discount. I'm done at tight end with Bowers and Kraft. That's for damn sure. So that kind of feels fun. We can get rid of that. There's no way I'm taking a third tight end with this pairing. Oh, no. Oh, no. How's the audio? Is it better? I think the mic was a little low. Let me turn it up. Man, this guy takes Jordan Love from me. What are we doing here? That was a big reason why I took Kraft. Christian Watson. Interesting. Okay, that hurts my feelings. I might just take Stafford, who I haven't taken much of any. I think it does make sense with Puka. Let's do it, I guess. Don't love it, but how's the audio now? Let me know. Let me know if it's good, if it's bad. It says good now. Good now. Okay, we're good. What happened there? Turn the mic up. So my apologies. I might have been moving around too much. We got the thumbs up. Okay, beauty. Vidal was highly unlikely to see the role this past season. He had some games. Tootin has a much easier path to see that, in my opinion. Zero Tootin seems bad. Yeah, I don't I'm not in on the Bajal Tootin train either. Some people are really, really low on him. I don't particularly understand why, if I'm being honest. I think, again, everything that he can do, I know for a fact that was like James Gladstone's guy, that he literally pitched Bajal Tootin's name when he got the job for Jacksonville. So there you go. I know Liam Cohen likes to run the ball. We'll see how that goes. Stephen Hines in the house. What's up, man? Sound is better. We're good. Really fun team so far. It's different. I kind of like it. I'm falling behind at wide receiver, but it's easy to catch up there. And Nakua kind of forgives a lot of things as far as wide receivers concerned. So I can kind of make it easy on myself and catch up. This is, I think, my first Stafford share, though. I was really hoping for Kraft so I could get Jordan Love. And then he gets pulled up to the Watson drafter, which I get. Purdy with Pearsall as well. I will take a third quarterback, however, at some point. Though it's not a rush. I got to catch up at wide receiver. Running back feels fine. It'll probably still at least be a 6 running back room, obviously. Done at tight end feels good. So that's going to give me a free pick somewhere. A free running back, or probably more likely wide receiver with where we're at as far as the wide receiver room is concerned. But unless Baker falls into our lap, I guess I'll take Baker if he's there. That can make some sense. Let's keep an eye on these tight ends. So Sadiq hasn't gone yet, which I don't think he should. It's getting to that point though. So we'll keep an eye on where Sadiq goes. And then Stowers as well. I definitely want to obviously keep a temperature on those two as far as draft capital is concerned, where they go. Though I will not be picking them in this draft, that's for damn sure. Man, if Baker's still there, do I take him? Ugh, I really need some wide receivers here. It will not be Jaden Reed. The interesting thing will be, will some of these wide receivers rise? Like Casey Concepcion? I don't know. Emmett Johnson's always a good click. I think Kenny Gainwell's an okay click now that we're pretty confident he's going back to the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. I'm fairly confident on that. There goes Gainwell. I wanted Wandale, so that's amazing. Really happy to get Wandale there. I really needed a wide receiver. Really needed a wide receiver. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Ain't this season unique in that sure Allen is the number one quarterback, but isn't everybody else even odds for number two spots? Yeah, I do agree with that. I do agree. That's why I think they're kind of all pulled up to the same range. And the rest of them have fallen. I definitely agree with this. And that's the way I'm drafting too. But all the quarterbacks are pulled up. So that kind of makes it interesting. Definitely makes it interesting. We're going to go Emmett Johnson. Yeah, getting Wandale really helps get Emmett Johnson here. So let's do that. But let's look at that board. So Josh Allen fell in this draft as well. So that is really nice to get him at 42. Usually he's at the back end of the third in the 30s. 42 is kind of crazy. But even like Lamar Jackson falls a little bit. And then this group right here is kind of like last year. I said that the league, you kind of had to draft your quarterbacks in rounds 8 through 12. It was kind of the winners, right? 8 through 12 last year. Right now in the big board, they're all pulled up. So it's kind of like 6 through 8, I think, are the league winner, the draft winners for quarterbacks. So all these guys, Hurts, Burrow, Daniels, May, Williams, Lawrence, Goff is not in there. Herbert, Prescott, Purdy, Dart, Mahomes. Yeah, all those guys, even maybe Love you could throw in there. But all those guys are in the conversation that I think those are going to be the winners. You kind of have to hit. And for me, it's Herbert right now. Caleb definitely on the list. I like Jaden Daniels, obviously. Yeah, those are kind of the guys. I think it's Caleb and Herbert are the two guys for me that I think are kind of the league winner quarterbacks as long as where we sit today, February 27th. Those are my guys. Those are my two highest drafted. I think that's where you have to nail the quarterback kind of pocket, or your quarterback room is where you have to nail it, is round 6 through 8 right now. Same as last year, 8 through 12. So Purdy, where did he go last year? I think it was like 10. He was in that range, 8 through 12, where they were kind of all spaced out. And then maybe one of these late round guys I think can be your kind of third if you do have a third, or take one of those two and two of the guys down here, Ward, Shuck, Mayfield, whatever. I'm not going to say Stroud. I'm not going to say Murray, Mendoza, Darnold, right? All these kinds of guys, two of them with a guy up here. But that's going to be I almost like, I kind of guarantee that the winning team from the big board is going to have a quarterback drafted in rounds 6 through 8, which obviously does not include Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. But to be honest, they haven't won in quite a while. Kenyon Sadiq goes 139. That's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. I kind of like that. That's a good pick right there. Man, it is not a great, we're done at tight end for sure. It is not a great range for anything particularly. I'm going to go Mason. If Dobbs is there for me, I'll take him. I'll take Downs. I'll take McMillan, I suppose. Though I don't particularly want him with Bucky. I have that pairing more than I would like. And I might just go Kamara, I guess, if I had to. I wanted one of those quarterbacks to fall to me. I would have taken any of these guys. Mendoza, Willis, Bryce Young. I would have taken any of those quarterbacks. Shuck if he fell, Darnold, anyone, Cam Ward. I would have taken any of those quarterbacks there. So that kind of hurts. It might be a Kirk Cousins kind of team, which is actually kind of fine. That's fine. Let's go Downs here. Definitely need some wide receiver help. Let's go Downs. Let's go Downs. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And you start very smart. Appreciate that, dog. Appreciate that. Doing builds like this seem very strong because you'll have Kraft and Tootin fight for the flex spot. You can attack wide receiver volume. Absolutely. That's kind of what I've been preaching all draft season is there's a lot of value down there as far as wide receivers. In my opinion, there's tons of value down here. And again, especially with having Puka, even Waddle, in my opinion, getting a little fall on Wandale helps, but Puka especially, like it kind of affords you a little bit. Like my flex should probably be taken care of, like you said, with Bowers there in my tight end spot always, and then the spikes with Kraft. Tootin, Johnson, Mason, these guys can pop up in my flex. I realistically only need 3, and I'm gonna draft 9 pretty much 100%. So it's a lot easier to stomach, especially with Puka and where I see a lot of value in the draft, which is down at the end. Caleb and T-Law for me, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I like T-Law as well. I do like T-Law as well. Again, he's in that range that I think is where you're going to find your winner. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm drafting him as well. Absolutely. I'm just super high on the Chargers. Super very high on the Chargers. Think they're fully live to win the Super Bowl this year. I didn't bet them because I thought the odds would be better. I want to bet them, but I thought the odds would be better. They're actually like top 10 favorites kind of thing, which I guess makes sense. They made the playoffs last year. I guess I get it. Yeah. But I was hoping for better odds. So I might just pick them and parlay them. I feel like it might be an all LA Super Bowl, Rams versus Chargers. That's my pick right now. It has been for a few weeks now. Chargers, Rams in the Super Bowl. Be a good game. And I might just parlay those two and see if we're taking shots, right? Because I think it's like 46-1 or something like that. If you parlay both of them. I can't remember what it was, but either way. Did Sadiq went, sorry, did Stores. He has not gone yet. So we're keeping an eye on that. That's actually kind of like at ADP for Kenyon Sadiq. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice for this guy at DC 352. That's pretty good value. That is borderline value at this point. I'm not taking Penix. Wow. Chimera DK gets pulled up. That kind of hurts. I'm not really a Pat Bryant guy. I actually like Franklin more. Let's take Katron, then we're done at running back. Done at running back feels kind of cool. Now we can just throw volume at wide receiver. I do need one more quarterback. It's not going to be Penix, I'll tell you that much for free. I'm definitely polarizing. My strong takes can be polarizing. Very polarizing. But I think there's too much of like, listen to me, do as I say in this space. I'm not telling you to do what I say. That's for damn sure. Do whatever you think and whatever you want to do, whatever your strategy is. Definitely don't assume I'm right. though I have a pretty good track record, if I'm being honest with everybody. Let's go Omar Cooper. Let's bring in a rookie. I like Omar Cooper a lot. I've been saving this little nugget. And it'll be really interesting when they weigh in. I'm not sure if they've I don't think they've done measurements yet. Have they on wide receivers? Looks like they have, I believe. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm just double checking something. If they've done the measurements, which they have. So, okay. So this is a take that I've I mean, take what you like from who you like. I'll say that. I'll say that. Listen to a few streamers if you like some stuff. If you agree with it, take that, roll with it. So I've been saving this little nugget, and it's a strong take of mine. And people are probably going to push back on this, but I don't really care because I think it's a completely there. And I've been saving this little nugget as far as comps and this draft class. And obviously, if you watch this show, you know how much I like Jeremy Bernard. So this is about Jeremy Bernard. I make comps when it makes sense. I don't comp every single player. I don't think it's necessary, right? But as far as comps, looking at this draft class, looking at these wide receivers, these two wide receivers, and watching their tape and seeing their measurements and everything like that, my comp for Omar Cooper is Jeremy Bernard, and my comp for Jeremy Bernard is Omar Cooper. These guys play almost exactly the same, which is crazy that I know I'm going to get some heat for that. But they're the exact same body, quite literally, height, weight. They're both a little bit gadgety. And if you don't think Omar Cooper is gadgety, his own quarterback just called him gadgety. Fernando Mendoza literally just called Omar Cooper gadgety, right? And if you think Jeremy Bernard is gadgety, then okay, what are we talking about? So what I'm kind of getting at is like, how are we so high now on Omar Cooper all of a sudden, considering Daniel Jeremiah had him outside of his top 50 1 week, and then 2 weeks or whatever it was later, he has him at 19th overall. That's not possible, number one. Number two, then how are we not higher on Jeremy Bernard? I just don't get it. And I'm going to keep taking him in the 19th, 20th round. Let's go. I'm 70+%. I'm 75% Jeremy Bernard right now. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep drafting him. I do not care. I do not care. I think it's just free value, crazy free value. So I'm going to eat it all up. I'm definitely taking Trey Harris here. That's who I was really hoping would fall. I almost picked him where I took Omar Cooper. So I'm super happy that he fell to me here. That's awesome to get Trey Harris there. That feels good to catch up. But that's my comp for Jeremy Bernard, and that's my comp for Omar Cooper. Watch the tape and tell me I'm wrong. Let's see what so everybody talks about Jeremy Bernard being a little bit like Debo, right? A little bit like Debo Samuel is what we hear about Jeremy Bernard a lot, right? Who is Omar Cooper's comp by Lance Zierlein, NFL.com? Debo Samuel. I'm just going to take Kirk Cousins here. Get it over with. And then I'm just going to throw wide receiver till the end. Lance Zierlein's comp for Jeremy Bernard is Robert Woods. That's actually pretty high praise. So I'll take that. But yeah, 6'1", 204. Jeremy Bernard. 6 foot, 204. Omar Cooper. Will eventually be an average starter, will eventually be a plus starter as far as Jeremy Bernard and Omar Cooper. Like they're literally the same player. Quite literally. I just don't understand it. I do not understand it. Why everyone's so high on Omar Cooper all of a sudden and basically completely out on Jeremy Bernard. I do not get it. Do not get it. 75%. I'm all in, deal with it. 100%, man. It's free. It's free. I'm going to continue taking, if you're going to give me something for free, I will take all of it. If it's free, it's for me. If it's free, I'll take 3. Make sure you get his name right. Make sure you get his name right. Jeremy Bernard. It's my guy. It's my guy. It's my Kyle Williams, but actually more so. more so than Kyle Williams. I'm in on Jeremy Bernard. But it's all going to come down to where he goes. It's all going to come, not even necessarily draft capital, because he's going to be a top 3 round. He might be 2nd round guy. If Jeremy Bernard runs fast tomorrow, he opens the door and looks good. If he tests well tomorrow, he pushes himself into the 2nd round, almost for sure. Omar Cooper's pretty much there at least already, potentially bottom end of the 1st round, but he's a 2nd round. I think he's a 2nd round pick, Omar Cooper. I really do. I don't think he's a 1st round pick. Stower goes at 208 right here. That is fun for that guy. That is fun for that dude. We're 18th round, and I'll be taking Jeremy Bernard if he's there. The only guy in the chat, I think, is Mr. Mufasa. So if you want to take him, go nuts. But I'm taking Jeremy Bernard every time in the 18th round. Every time. 19th round, 20th round. Every single time I'm taking Jeremy Bernard. Every time. We got 2 more picks. Both are going to be wide receivers. I feel good about this wide receiver room. Obviously, Puka Nacua makes me feel good about this wide receiver room. But a lot of spike week type guys in here, which is kind of all I need. Realistically, again, like we only need 3. If we get a 4th that pops up into our flex, awesome. You're in the draft, where you at? Bats 440 in the draft. Where you at, man? Lurking? You been lurking the whole time? Oh, there he is. Boom. Nice. Oh, wow. You got the Josh Allen fall. That feels real nice. That feels real nice at 42 to get Josh Allen. Good on you. Good on you. That feels good. Oh, yeah. Quality draft. Flournoy was on my radar to take him right there. I would have taken Flournoy over Jeremy and pushed him around. We're on the clock. Let's pull that up. We're going to go Kyle Williams here, my guy last year, but I think it just makes sense with this build. Actually, Mims could make some sense too. Let's go Kyle Williams. Though there's some chatter about A.J. Brown to the Patriots. I just don't know. I mean, it makes sense, but then almost certainly Stephon Diggs probably is not there. We'll see. Yeah, it's a good-looking squad for Bats over there. I got 90% Bernard. I'm right there with you. Need to pump those Bernard numbers up, man. Some rookie numbers on Jeremy Bernard. I'm just like so bought in. He's completely free. He's completely free. That's kind of what I've been doing this draft cycle so far. Just get my guys before the combine, before the hype kind of takes over. Cooper was another one of those guys I was getting a lot of. I have them ranked right beside each other. Like literally 5 and 6 are Bernard and Cooper. Actually, 5 and 6. I have Jeremy Bernard and Omar Cooper. And again, they're comps of each other. They're the same fucking player. No one wants to admit it, or everyone's going to have Omar Cooper ahead of Jeremy Bernard. And I guess I can understand why, but like they're the same. It's the Spider-Man meme, man. It's the same player. It's the same guy. We'll rip another quick one after this. We're not going to review the teams. It's getting late. Just want to rip through another draft. Mr. Mufasa and Bats 440 are the only guys in the draft, I believe. So we'll rip another one quick. 25% Cooper, 20% Fields. I think all three go day 2. I could agree with that. I'm 0% Fields. So I just don't see it with Fields. Like I see Keon Coleman right now. Like I don't know what Keon Coleman may or may not be this year with Joe Brady. I'm drafting a lot of Keon Coleman because of where he goes, way down here. I think he got pulled up in this one. He did. That's aggressive. I'm not taking him that friggin' high, though you can if you really like him. Take him in the 16th. That's fine. But I'm getting him down here in the 18th, 19th, 20th round. So that's where I'm getting all my shares of Coleman, where he's completely free. That's a little aggressive. There's some guys up there. Harris, I'm taking over him. Surratt, probably. Cooper for sure. Jeremy Bernard, even a lot of times. So that's aggressive, but I don't mind Coleman. But that's what I see in Fields. I think Malachi Fields is Keon Coleman, realistically. We'll see. I could definitely be wrong on that, but I'm not a big Fields guy. I'm just not. Though that could change. If he runs fast tomorrow and looks good, that could change. I just don't think so. I'm probably going to just trust my eyes on that one. Brazel would make some sense if he's there in the last round. Little dip on Chris Brazel. This guy will probably take him, I'd imagine, but I think that makes some sense. Could take my guy Ted Hurst, but I'm getting a little high. Yeah, let's take Brazel. That makes sense there. 20th round, Chris Brazel. Let's go. 3692. I like that. Hurts, Stafford, Cousins, little soft, but Hurts kind of pulls it up a little bit, I feel like. Bucky, Javonte, Tootin, Emmett Johnson, Jordan Mason, Katron Allen. I think that's fine. I like that. Puka, Waddle, Wandale, Downs, Cooper, Harris, Bernard, Kyle Williams, and Chris Brazel. That works for me. Some spike week guys, some guys that can move up on their teams. Free agent, number one. I'm okay with that. Bowers and Kraft, definitely a strong tight end room. I think we're in a good spot there. Let's rip another one while we're here. One more big board. We're jumping in. We're in. Wait on 5. Poor Coleman. You want Cooper and Bernard? Yeah, stay out of my draft rooms then. Just kidding, man. I have more than enough. Yeah, poor Coleman. We'll see. I mean, Joe Brady has endorsed him. So, yeah, I'm drafting Coleman when he's free. What was his price last year? Like 8th round or something stupid? 8th round or higher, like 8th, 10th round, something like that was Coleman last year. That would be crazy this year. Not going to happen. But Ty Nasty FF is in the draft again. So maybe he's in the chat. Zen Q7, maybe in the chat. We got Bats for 40 over here, and Mr. Mufasa making a sandwich out of me. DC 352, maybe he's in the chat as well, lurking. We got Champ X in the 9 spot. Maybe there's some other guys. We might have some lurkers. That's all right if you are. I don't judge. Some other streamers judge the lurkers. I don't really mind. You do you. Lurk away. But I'm not happy to be in this sandwich right here. Mufasa and Bat sandwich. We'll see how that goes. That's unfortunate. Can't talk very freely now, can I? Pick number 6. I haven't been 6 in a little while. As far as my rankings and ADP, it says Jonathan Taylor. But we'll see if he's there. Yeah, it'll probably be JT if he's there. Winner in this draft, definitely me. And then and then one of Bats, Mufasa, Champax, one of those guys. I'll be fine with that. Yeah, there you go. I hate 5 to 8 or so. I agree with that. I want to be top 4. Any of the top 4 is perfectly fine. Let's go CD. I haven't drafted him in a little while. Let's take Taylor. Just be scared. Take Taylor. See if we can change some things up in the second round. If this will ever go through. There we go. Let's take Taylor. I did take CD a lot early because he was going 9, 10, stuff like that. He kind of still is 8, 9, 10. So I was taking a lot of CD Lamb early. I've kind of gotten away from it, but I might get back into the CD Lamb game. But I agree with that. I mean, Genty gets pulled up at times. I don't hate that by Mr. Mufasa. I'm trying to get some more Genty shares. Though it just kind of got some negative coach speak a little bit, though. I mean, what team, not a lot of teams have a bell cow every down back kind of thing. So, you know, they're always going to bring in somebody. They have nobody to back him up. They didn't last year either, right? So they're always going to bring somebody in to help out and take a load off of Genty a little bit. But we'll see how that shakes. Excuse me. We'll see how that shakes out. I'd like to get a more McCaffrey, but I'm either gonna maybe pull him up to 5 once in a while, depending on my Jackson Smith and Jigba exposure. I'm either gonna pull him up to 5 or get him at 9, 10, 11 sort of thing. But taking him at ADP, I don't think is what I want to be doing with CMC. JT won't be McBride. I might get a London share here. I'm typically going Jeremiah Love for sure. That's what my rankings would say, but I definitely can't just discount and forget about Drake London. And I kind of have been because I'm drafting a lot of Love, Bowers, Henry, Chase Brown. Actually, I need more Chase Brown as well, but I can't just forget about Drake London. I like Drake London a lot. He's a good click. I haven't clicked him enough. Let's get back into the Drake London game. Yeah, if you like JSN that much, you could include him in that top 5. That's fine. I think he's fine. I take him at 5. I think he's pretty locked in. The top 6 is basically locked in. It's just a matter of exposure, right? So if I get kind of, let's say, a little bit too much JSN and I want to mix it up, then let's just pull up McCaffrey and then try to get a little bit unique that way. I don't want a lot of McCaffrey, but I definitely don't want a 0. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go Tet over Breeze Hall. Let's lean into a bit of a hero RB type of thing with JT. Get a couple wide receiver 1s on their team. And see how we can kind of build this out. I like Ted a lot more this year than I did last year. I think he was still a 3rd round pick last year, wasn't he? Bottom of the 3rd. And he's basically going more or less the same price with a year of experience under his belt. So I like him now. At cost. Jefferson, I got Jefferson at like 19. I got a Jonathan Taylor Jefferson, I believe, at the 6 the other day, which felt really good when the Anthony Richardson news came out. Which, like, yeah, there's some validity to that, but let's be real. I don't think Anthony Richardson really fits in Kevin O'Connell in his offense. I would have a hard time seeing Richardson excel in that offense, a very hard time. And like the quote, yeah, it's nice it looks good, feels good, but like that could just be him saying some nice things to a young player. You know what I mean? Like, I just have a hard time sitting here thinking that, yeah, he believes that Anthony Richardson is like a future Hall of Famer. I just have a hard time believing that. I really do. I'm just gonna pull up Igbokwe here. It's a little different as far as the Jameson Williams, Devontae Smith. I get that they're there, and in a vacuum, they're probably better clicks. But there's a couple things here. I'd probably rather go Terry. Actually, that's probably what I should have done. But I'm leaning into this NFC South kind of thing. Potentially, he's the wide receiver one on that team. I think that that's a fairly high potential, to be honest, and then mix him up with the other NFC South wide receivers. I kind of like that, but I should have probably went Terry. That that should have been my click. That's unfortunate, but because there's no way he makes it back to me, obviously, but it is what it is. That hurts. Still like the structure and the build. We got a double elite bagel with ham, double elite quarterback situation over here. I'd rather Bucky over Jacobs personally, if you're going to do something like that, but I get it. Same structure, so that's fair. I'm never doing this myself, and I can't say I understand why you would do it. It just never wins. And then he goes Burrow. Awesome. Red badge. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Pulls him up with Chase. Interesting. Interesting. If I were the Terry McLaurin drafter, I would have taken Jaden Daniels right there. But that's just me. And it kind of makes me want to do that, if I'm being honest. And I am going to do that. I'm going to pull up Jaden Daniels. When someone does this, it makes the other or last, if you will, elite quarterback that much more valuable to me. So, yeah, I'm okay to pull him up. And it's only like what, 6 picks, seven picks at ADP. Obviously, there's no way he's going to get back to me. I don't need to stack him. We don't even know who the wide receivers are outside of Terry. We don't even know who the pass catchers, even tight ends. We don't know who they are in Washington outside of Terry McLaurin. So feels good to take Jaden Daniels. And then we see Drake May get pulled up. We see Caleb Williams get pulled up. So that feels really good to get Jaden Daniels there. Feels really good. I like that. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense. And yes, yeah, I don't think it ever makes sense this year, any year. It just doesn't make sense. There's just like, this is the worst thing you could ever do, really. Like through triple elite, it just makes zero sense, zero whatsoever, because you're going to be so far behind at wide receiver and running back. You're going to be so far behind, and they're just never entering your lineup. Whether it's, probably Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are just never entering your lineup. We're going to go Makai Lemon here. I like that at a huge discount. 10 picks a discount on my wide receiver one. You guys are going to give me? No questions asked. I'll take Makai Lemon. I will take Makai Lemon there. That feels nice. So, yeah, like we know that Josh Allen is head and shoulders the wide receiver. The quarterback one. We know head and shoulders Josh Allen is the quarterback one in fantasy. We know that, right? So it just makes zero sense to pair him up with two other elite quarterback options. Zero sense in the world. But again, with me getting Jaden Daniels, now I'm pretty happy about this. It's great for me. And in theory, it's great for Drake May and Caleb Williams drafters, as well as the Jalen Hurts drafters. Like any of these perceived elite quarterbacks, it feels good to have one when there's 3 on one team, right? So I like that. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Mekhi Lemon to the Commanders? Who says no? I don't think that's going to happen personally, but you never know. You never know. I also did not like his interview. That's probably why he fell, to be honest. I did not like his interview at all. His podium time at the combine, it was not good. I did not like that. It was discouraging, if anything. Very discouraging. We're going to go Ricky. I don't have to take one of these quarterbacks when I have Jaden Daniels. I have tons of options later and even Ricky gives me another option. So I have tons of options at quarterback. It's not really a concern. But I did not like Mekhi Lemon's interview. That was very concerning to me. I'm wondering what he's like in the interview room with these teams. Is what that came to mind to me, was how does he interact with these coaches and offensive coordinators and whatnot. Didn't love it, but we'll see. I'm probably going to dig into that as much as I can. If I'm being honest with you, I'm going to dig into the interviews and what anyone, if I can get any sort of intel on what teams are saying about Mekhi Lemon interviews, I'm going to be all over that. All over that. It's concerning, but we'll see. Might be a nothing burger. Might tank his draft stock. I don't know. I don't know yet. Hunter Gray 420. Flirting with disaster with no quarterbacks yet, in my opinion. But we shall see. Interesting spot. Alec Pierce is falling a ton. I think he should fall, but maybe not quite. Like, give me Alec Pierce over Michael Wilson, personally. Algier gets pulled up. I would have taken Pierce if he was there, just because, like, I'll take the discount. I'll just take that off your hands if you want to hand it over to me. Let's just go with Brock Purdy. I don't mind the Pollard situation. Let's go Pollard, actually. Let's go Pollard. I don't have enough. I am getting concerned with the amount of touches under Pollard's belt these days. That's a lot of touches in the last 4 years, including the receptions. It's a lot of touches for a guy that doesn't have a big frame. He's getting up there in age. They just released their center. It's an interesting one with Pollard, but that might even be my first share, if not my second. In division, I guess, with Taylor, I don't know. That's fine. It's fine. I need a running back. Let's go Pollard. I'm just a little pessimistic. I'm concerned about the touches. I'm concerned that he gets hurt this year. That's my big concern with Pollard. And you shouldn't draft like a guy's going to get hurt, because good luck predicting that, right? But I'm just concerned with all the touches. It's a lot of touches on him in the last 4 seasons. It's a lot of touches. But we also, in theory, know what we're getting. But he's also, in theory, declined every year. So, I don't know. Soft. I wouldn't even call it fade, but I'm soft on Pollard. Steve's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you popping in here, saying what's up. I think you and Meg were drafting a bigger board earlier today, weren't you? I think I heard that somewhere. Let's go Purdy. That makes sense. I was going to go Purdy with my last pick. So if he's still there at a bit of a discount, again, with all these quarterbacks flying off the board, we got triple elite, hit him with the gritty style over here. I'll just take Purdy, lock it in, and I could be done at quarterback. I could stop there, but we'll see. We will see. I haven't asked for it yet. Hit the like button, guys, if you don't mind. Some people in the chat were talking about it, so I appreciate that. But hit that like button if you don't mind. Next week's going to be a fun week. We got nothing but guests. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern, rocking the late shift. We got guests on every day lined up. Super excited for all of them. Monday night's going to be really fun. And then, we'll be taking it from there. Though I'm going to be exhausted on Monday night. That's brutal. That's going to be brutal. Monday nights are going to be tough for the kid moving forward. I have hockey late at night on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. start for hockey. It's brutal. Though actually it might be getting earlier, so that should be good. But this week it's not. This week it's not. So, but we got a big guest on Monday. I'm really excited about coming out of retirement kind of thing. I'm excited about him coming on. Should be fun. Should be fun. So hit that like button. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, just popping in, you like the content, hit the subscribe button. You see the ticker down there, the subscribe goal. If we get there, 12-hour live stream, got to be before the draft, got to be a man of my word. So we got to get there. Jonah Coleman, who met with the Chiefs. I know there's been a lot of talk about Etienne going there and maybe some of the other big name Algier, that type of thing. I'm not going to go with Coleman here. I'm going to go with probably Wandale again. Just think that that's a good click right here. Let's do Wandale. I don't think the Chiefs spend a lot of money on running back. I just don't. I think they definitely addressed it in the draft somewhere. Does that mean Jeremiah Love? Maybe, but I don't know if he's there for them at 9. But I think they do address it in free agency for sure. So and maybe Coleman is that guy, but he's not going to go in and be any kind of bell cow, right? Like that's just not going to happen. Maybe they do draft Coleman in the 3rd round or something like that, but he's not going to go in there and be a bell cow. So, especially with who I feel like in my opinion, Dowdle, Najee, those are the guys that I really like to go to the Chiefs. And if those two are there and Coleman comes in, that's not good news for Coleman at this price tag, I don't think, personally. And I'm not as high as other people are on Jonah Coleman. So take that for what it is worth to you in your pocket. Emma Johnson went. That sucks. I thought he was still there for some reason. Let's get cute then. Let's get cute and pull up Kenyon Sadiq. I think that this is kind of where he could go. I mean, you could say Kittle. Yeah, I get it. That actually probably is the correct click but I already have Pearsall, I should say. You could definitely make a case that Kittle's the correct click there, and you would probably be correct. But I wanted to get cute, wanted to get fun. Let's do that. There goes Kittle. That kind of hurts. That was kind of, I'm not going to say dumb. Sadiq could go to the 49ers, but I don't think that happens, but you never know. Hockey, not for the meek and timid. It's not like it's contact or anything. We got to work, man. Everybody's got to go to work the next day. You can't be laying hits. It's not like zero contact. You can't touch another guy, but But you certainly can't be hitting. That's for sure. Tough game, though, obviously. It's a tough game, hard game. Hard game, tough game. But yeah, we're getting fun. We're getting fun with this one. Definitely falling behind at running back. That's for sure. Don't feel exceptionally comfortable about that. Yeah, I thought, wow, Emmett Johnson went there. I thought he was still there after the Coleman click. I thought he was still on the board. And then I saw Marks and Tracy. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take Emmett Johnson. But no. So let's get cute and take Sadiq. This is making me think that I'm going to have to just stop at 2 quarterbacks with my running back situation. And my tight ends, like even with Sadiq, I'm going to have to throw 3 at it for sure. I like my wide receiver room. Don't get me wrong. Could I stop at 7? I suppose. I'm definitely going to stop at 8. That's for sure. Krosky Merritt, I'm not a fan of particularly at all, but you got to assume he has some kind of a role. At that, if I'm not going to take him here, when am I ever going to take Krosky Merritt? So let's do it. Pair him with Jaden Daniels, sure. Though he's not a pass catching option at all, but that's okay. If the offense takes a step forward, then there we go. We got Jury football in the house. What's happening, man? Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, I get a little cute on this draft. I don't necessarily like this team at all. Getting a little cute. I probably should have went Kittle, but I wanted to get cute with Kenyon Sadiq. Wanted to get cute with Kenyon Sadiq. Subscribe. I wasn't going to say anything about the guests, but one of them may have just entered the chat. One of the guests next week may have just entered the chat. I'll say that. May or may not have. Who knows? Who knows? It was a 4.39, I'm pretty sure. It was an official 4.39. Around a 4.4, and then the official is 4.39, but I mean, it's 4.3. It's 4.3. But yeah, big guests next week. Every day we got guests. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we got 3 guests lined up. I'm stoked. And one of them may or may not have just entered the chat. Who knows? Who could say for sure on that one? I guess I could. I could say for sure, but you know, who else could? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Some good guests. I'm excited. I'm excited. Should be a fun week. Chokes on the last sip. That is the worst. Chokes on the last sip. That is the worst thing that could happen to a guy. Oh, serves me right for not taking George Kittle when I should have there. That's how that goes. Dang, man. Last sip and he chokes on it. Brutal. All right, let's get back into this draft. Let's get locked in. Mason Hurts, Kamara Hurts. Those are the 2 guys I was looking at. I think it's just got to be, and it makes a lot of sense. It has to be Juwan Johnson here with this whole NFC sell situation. Has to be, need a tight end. That works. That works for me. I am just going to be done at quarterback now. That it doesn't make sense to take another. If I guess if Cam Ward, I was kind of hoping maybe if Shuck fell into my lap somewhere. There he goes at 108. Wow. And Darnold. Wow. Okay. I guess that makes sense why he didn't fall into my lap. I would have taken him around, probably right. Yeah, Wandale or Sadiq. I would have taken Shuck or Bryce Young. I would have taken, right. Like all those two guys make sense. Those are the or Baker. I would have taken Baker over Wandale for sure. But with the way it's fallen, it doesn't make sense to take a third. So let's just leave it there. I can throw some more volume at running back, which I'm definitely going to need. So let's say we're done at quarterback. I'm going to take one more late tight end. We're going to throw some volume at running back. I could probably get away with just one more wide receiver too. But we'll see. We'll see about that. I could definitely take two and be okay with it. Fantasy Dog, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you popping in. Appreciate you. We're going to go Tajay. Are we going to go Tajay? Yeah. Let's just lock up that Tennessee backfield then. Let's just do that. We can throw minimum 7, obviously, at this running back room. So that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Lock up that Tennessee backfield. Should be a better offense, you'd have to figure, in Tennessee. I'm playing Tennessee like it's a better offense this year. So let's lock it up. If I feel like Pollard could be a little injury prone potentially, then take his handcuff. I guess that makes tons of sense considering everything I said about Pollard. I think that makes a lot of sense. He's the best kind of click down here with the Braylon Allen situation, Breece Hall, the Jets, Brooks has never stayed healthy his entire life. It would have been Mason. Probably not over Johnson. Johnson's a good click there. I like that. Rachaad White would have been great if he fell to me, but goes 10 picks earlier. It is what it is. I would have clicked Kamara for sure. Maybe Mason instead of Johnson, but didn't get to make that decision anyways. It's kind of never Charbonnet. I just don't understand how people could be drafting Charbonnet. It's like, yeah, he could be the guy needing week 17, but like he won't be playing any other weeks. So what are we doing? What are we doing there? Sean Tucker could be fine here. Likely. Barner. Both fine. Cooper goes there. Jameer DK is a quality click. I wasn't clicking him anyways. It'd be Tucker or Katron. Let's go Katron. I think makes more sense. I think Katron has more outs to getting more work than Tucker. Though I like the situation with Tucker, don't get me wrong. I think he's a fine click. I just think in this situation with what I have going on in this running back room, I think it makes more sense to take Katron over Tucker there. That could be false, though. I could be wrong on that. That could be the wrong click. But, I mean, I've made a few incorrect clicks tonight, so wouldn't be the end of the world. Well, with this draft. The first draft, I think, was a good one. But this one's been a little sus, if I'm being honest with everyone. It's a little questionable, I feel like. Charbonnet's fallen, which she should. I pretty much still won't be picking him down here. How many we got? 5 more selections. Done at quarterback. So we're looking at 2783. I guess. 2783. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Again, if my flex is taken care of by my wide receiver, then I only need 2 running backs. Jonathan Taylor's always one, considering. And then the Tennessee running back is potentially always another. And then I've got, 4 other shots. to get my second running back. Let's do that. Let's do that. I think Stowers did not go. Then I got to click him here. I don't really love it with Sadiq, but I do have Johnson. That feels good. Let's bring up Eli Stowers. He should be going before this, if I'm being honest. I think Eli Stowers over Njoku potentially. I think over Ferguson again, just because of the cloudiness to Ferguson. And again, you never know because Stowers could get a bad landing spot, and it is what it is. But I'm going to take a shot there. We're having fun with this draft. This is a different build. This is a fun draft. I think we'll see if it's fun or not, if it wins. I might be just giving away EV right now too. Hard to say. News came out that the Packers will not tender Emmanuel Wilson, won't be tendered. So he's going to become a free agent. So people that have been drafting Emmanuel Wilson, you might want to think about not. I haven't drafted him at all. So that's restricted free agent. He could, I mean, obviously they could bring him back, but I wouldn't bank on that. I think that they draft somebody. I think that's fully on the table, or a free agent could definitely come in. Jacobs may not be with this team. I feel like he will be, though. I mean, there's been kind of talks that he will be, but there's been both. The contract says he could not be on this team, but I think he's going to be too valuable. Realistically, I just think they're going to have to stick it out with him. But they're going to bring somebody else in, whether that's a free agent or someone in the draft. But if you've been drafting Emmanuel Wilson, I would suggest pumping the brakes on that a little bit. And there goes Emmanuel Wilson. What do I know? What do I know? Let's do Ray Davis on this one. Contingent, straight handcuff, just a straight James Cook handcuff. I was hoping Najee might fall around, though it was pretty unlikely. I should have probably taken Najee there, I suppose. But again, we're making incorrect clicks left, right, and center tonight, if we're being honest with ourselves. But like, if the outs fall right for Ray Davis, he can push this team over the edge. It's almost never going to happen that way for Najee. Unless he, like, let's say, goes to the Chiefs and he's just the guy. Which, do we think that happens? It's possible, but I'm not inclined to believe that Najee goes somewhere and is just like the number one bell cow. He's the guy. I find that a little hard to believe. But if James Cook goes down, then Ray Davis is the guy. Obviously, there'll be some other guys mixed in, but Ray Davis will more than pay off this draft capital. Najee could definitely pay off this draft capital too, but to what extent, essentially? If we're gonna take 8 wide receivers, it's always Jeremy Bernard. Always Jeremy Bernard. How do you think Monty will produce if you plugged him into a role like Jacobs has? At this stage of his career, probably similar to what Jacobs did last year. Probably about that. Where does he get that? Houston? The Chiefs? Also requires the Lions to move on from him. which wouldn't be in a trade. It would be a cut. They would have to cut him in order for Montgomery to move on. But I think something like this would be on the table for David Montgomery. 220 carries-ish, plus about 20 to 30. So let's call it 240 to 250 total touches, roughly 1,200 total yards rushing and receiving, and roughly 10 touchdowns rushing and receiving, 10 to 12, something like that would be that's what I would, predict, if you will, for him, for David Montgomery. We are probably going to make a similar bet that we made with Ray Davis at running back, but we're also going to pair him up with the quarterback, Brock Purdy. And that's going to be Jordan James if he doesn't get picked right here. Jack Besh goes. So we're going to go Jordan James, pair him up with Brock Purdy. Same bet as Ray Davis. Similar, hopefully, we think. So let's do that. We're going to be done there. And then I'm probably going to take another rookie, or maybe not rookie, with Lemon. We're going to take one more wide receiver, though, for sure. I think that this can work at running back, though I don't love it, but I think it could work as long as like Krosky, Merritt, and Katron are like nothing crazy. Call it 800 total yards and 6 touchdowns, something like that. 600 to 800 and 600 to 8 touchdowns. Or sorry, 6 to 8, 4 to 6 even. Call it 600 to 800 yards total, 4 to 6 touchdowns total each. If they do that, and then I have this Tennessee backfield kind of locked up with Jonathan Taylor, I think this could work. And then if there's an injury to CMC or James Cook, then we can make it work. It's interesting. It's obviously questionable, but we're taking a lot of risk on this team. My wide receiver room's in really good shape. I think this tight end room can work. Quarterbacks are fine. Health could be a concern. I understand that. But yeah, this is an interesting squad. Yeah. And with one this different, I might just continue down the different path. We got a Jalen Milroe sighting. Jalen Milroe sighting. I'm going to go continue down the unique path. I haven't drafted Darius Slayton yet, and I do think there's some value in him down here. Or Keenan could make some sense, but let's take the spike week kind of guy and go with Darius Slayton. I haven't drafted him yet, and I think he's an okay click, though Isaiah Bond is maybe the better click there, all things considered. But if I'm going to stay different and be different and get different, then let's do that. I think it's my first Pollard share. Not a lot at all. Maybe 2 other shares of Merritt. Back on the London train. Haven't taken him very much. Let's do that. This is definitely a different squad for me. So let's do that. We're going to get out of here for the night. I appreciate you guys popping in. Like I said, we have guests lined up all next week, so that'll be much funner than just listening to me yak about nonsense. We'll have combine stuff to talk about, which will be awesome. There'll be some risers and fallers from there. Monday night's going to be really fun. Someone coming kind of out of retirement. It's going to be a really fun episode. I'm excited for that. Wednesday, I got a great guest who may or may not have entered the chat tonight. Who knows? And then Friday night, we got a guest as well. So I'm very excited for that. Hit that like button on your way out. If you haven't subscribed, consider it. And like I always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hope you guys have a great weekend.